I have a super interesting test today, and really a head-to-head battle between a super premium, exclusive, really expensive, you get the gist, they're very expensive, versus what we class as a very good cheap iron. Very good cheap iron. This is 7-iron versus 7-iron. I mean, you can see some differences there, can't you? We have in this battle the proto-concept irons, the CO7, and these are over £2,000 for a set. £2,000. You could pretty much get 4 of these for the price of a set of one of those. We're putting in this test the Callaway 01T irons. You know what? I really did enjoy testing these. I always said these are like a cheaper version of the Taylormade P790. You can sort of see the similarities here in the end of the head. Even if this is remotely close, this is seriously going to open up a debate. So cheap versus ultra expensive. Now I do know you can get cheaper irons, but we all class those Callaway irons as a good cheap iron. Now this is not just any test. We're going to test accuracy first, from the tee, from the fairway and from the rough. A head-to-head battle, 1 ball in each scenario from each club. We're then going to look at the ball speed. 3 shots, dead out, ball speed and carry. So 3 overall parts of this test. Ball speed, carry and accuracy. Let's start on the par 3, 11th. That's this hole right here. And just to make this super easy, I put Cal on some golf balls and a star on the other set of golf balls. The star is for the proto-concept and obviously the Cal is for the Callaway irons. Let's start with accuracy and from the tee, as I say, on the 11th. I don't know which way this is going to go. When I tested the proto-concept irons, I was seriously impressed. But for the price point, they are up there, and they should be, right? They like go through, like, I think from something I remember here, it's like a 3-stage forging process, and they claim to have all the technology at golf manufacturers' disposal right now, which is why they're so expensive. So the best materials, the best forging, the best people, the best concept, and they're sort of like the idea of, like, you know when you see like a concept car, that's what the idea is with these irons. They're a concept just using everything that is the best from everything that they can get their hands on. With that being said, let's start with the Callaway, and I really did enjoy these when I tested them also. Line 175, middle of the green. We're not even taking on that flag. They just keep putting it in that horrible scenario. Callaway up first. That's a beautiful hit. That's a bold line, Alex. Go. Oh, we're on the green. That was absolutely beautiful. That's a seriously strong start from the Callaway. That felt pure. The flight was penetrating. Looks like it's gone a good distance too. Next up, proto-concept. So these are all off a tiny little tee, just because it's the way I like to play these on a par 3. Big tree is the line, Alex. Don't push it this time. Right about there. That is so good. That might be a bit long. Get down, please. Get down, get down. Strong start from both. Seriously strong start from both. The Callaway was a bit of a bolder line. It was a little bit of a push. But with that being said, I am looking at it right now, and I think it still had the carry. So let's just see where these have gone. Then I'll show you both of them a little bit closer so you can sort of make your minds up with which one you like. So remember, one of these is a hollow-headed iron in the Callaway, and the proto-concept, well, you'll see in a second, has like a bit of a cavity. Remember, like, it goes through a 3-stage forging process. 3 stages. So this one right here must be the Callaway, which actually is exactly the same distance, yes it is the Callaway, as what we hit with the proto-concept. Now, admittedly, to prepare that pitch mark, the proto-concept did hit the green and the Callaway was on the fringe. So we'll have to be pretty tough here and say 1-0 to the proto-concept. But I'll be honest with you, I would have putted that, but because this is a test, it didn't hit the green. It's 1 up to the proto-concept off the tee in terms of accuracy. Let's skip a few holes ahead now and we'll go to the 13th and hit some approach shots from the fairway and from the rough. But I've got a question for you. Like, why are all these manufacturers bringing out these super expensive, super premium irons? I mean, bet you've never heard of the proto-concept. Bet you've never heard of them until I did the review here on How Good Golf. But that's what we do. We find all the golf clubs that you've never heard of. Obviously, most of you probably have because they're from the likes of the big brands, Cobra, Taylormade, Callaway, Ping. But I do the digging so you don't have to, and you can see how they perform. Okay, from the fairway and the rough, and then into the big things, the ball speed and the carry. Now, if you're from the UK, you're gonna totally get where I'm coming from right now. We've got a day of summer. If you're not, actually do let me know where you're watching from. Okay, let's go fairway, one with each. Now let's have a closer look at these irons right here, the proto-concept. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of this sort of area in here, this sort of blackened area. It looks a bit cheap, but you can see it's got a little bit of a cavity under there. It is fairly chunky from here, but that top line looks super, super inviting. I really like the shiny outer to dull inner. It sort of complements this iron beautifully. And if you're wondering why I've got this sort of hosel, it's part of a fitting kit, so I can interchange shafts and make sure it's the right one for me. And then this is the Callaway irons, and these are a hollow headed design iron. There's not really too much to say apart from it's a really nice minimalistic look, which I really do like. There's a little bit of toe weighting, nice and sort of, well, relatively chunky down here at the bottom. And like I say, a really inviting top line. So obviously from the back, you can see there is a difference. One's a cavity, one's hollow headed, one's very expensive, one's not. But in terms of like that in the looks, you can't see the difference in price in these looks. The only thing I would say, this sort of shiny area at the top does give it a bit more of a premium feel, I guess. You can really see the difference in chunkiness in terms of the proto-concept here on the left compared to the Callaway. And then in terms of face, you can see the differences there. Well, guess what? There isn't much, is there? I mean, without that fitting hosel on it, you wouldn't really know which was which. So it's time to now hit these shots from the fairway, isn't it? Let's go proto-concept first. We are around that 165 mark, but uphill, playing probably 10 uphill. So probably playing more like that 170 number, very similar to what we had on the par 3. Which is what we want to do, we want to keep it there, don't we? Okay, let's get lined up, Alex. Let's hit another shot today. There and there. Oh, it's a little leaky up the right. Oh, it's a little leaky. Oh, that wasn't a great shot. But you know what? That might have caught a piece of the green. That was struck really nice. Just sort of left the face open there. Here we go. Now time for one with the Callaway. A little thin, but it's definitely going to be closer. Definitely going to be closer. So with those first shots in the fairway, we could have a very similar sort of battle there. One on the fringe, one on the green. In terms of the opposite now, one on the fringe from the proto-concept and one on the green from the Callaway. It's now time to hit some from the rough. Let's start with the Callaway iron. This was straight down the throat of the flag. Straight down the throat of the flag. It was a lovely shot. Cut through the turf beautifully. And then I have to say the exact same happened with the proto-concept. I even think this might be a little bit closer. This could be a dead heat in terms of accuracy. So remember, we hit the green with the proto-concept from the tee on the par 3. We hit the fringe from the tee with the Callaway. Let's now, oh, I'm a bit nervous here. Okay, let's now have a look at this. Oh my, so look at these shots right here. One on the fringe, two in close, and one over here. Let's see which is which. I'm quite intrigued. This one over here must be the, yep, this is the proto-concept, the one we hit from the fairway. This one right here must be the Callaway we hit from the fairway, which makes that 1-1 in terms of accuracy. We hit the green in both scenarios once with each. We then got another on the green here, and this is a proto-concept with a star, which that means again, that is another Callaway here, which makes it 2-2. Both missing the green once. We have an absolute dead heat in terms of accuracy. And just judging that in terms of distance, they feel like they're pretty similar too. But what will the data show? Now, in terms of what we're looking at here, it's purely just the carry and the ball speed. Hence how we come to a par 4 tee. We are going to be a little bothered about accuracy. Obviously, if I start carting it way off to the left in this direction or way off to the right in this direction, I'm going to say something. But as a general rule of thumb, let's just go between these trees. Let's start off first ball with the Callaway irons, 01T 7 iron. Oh, that's a beautiful hit. I haven't got any better in the locker than that. Nice little draw, where's that coming from? Okay, I'm a little bit scared right now. That just went 193 yards and had a ball speed of 130.1. I'm gonna try and keep my club head speed around the 93 mark with every single one of the shots. What happened there? That was a crazy start with the Callaway. Hit it like bemused really, because I hit it good, but like, that's like 10 yards longer than I would expect it to be at least. Now time for the proto-concept. Now remember what I said. Remember what I said. These irons have the best of everything. So if the Callaway are close and you can get 3 or 4 sets of the Callaway for one of these, that's an interesting debate to have. Okay, I'll try and play the draw again. Ball slightly back in the stance. What 93 mile an hour one? Oh yeah, that one felt absolutely buttered. Did you hear that? It's like a whoosh. That's gotta be up there, that. Oh, visually, that looked longer. I can't see it. Ball speed of 129.7. Again, I had it around the 93.6 mark, and in terms of carry, it's a little bit shorter, a 186. I can't see it. Let's say another one. Okay, I'm starting to think maybe the first one with the Callaway was a little bit of a misread. Here's the second shot that I hit away with the Callaway irons. Again, a beautiful shot. I don't know where this high draw is coming from, but you know what? I will take it. Beautiful shot with the Callaway ball number 2. Ball number 2 with the proto-concept. This was a little bit leaked up the right. It still would have found the fairway, but possibly not going to be the longest shot with this one. I felt I just left the face a little bit open, but again, it was a decent launch and a decent shot. Let's carry on with that proto-concept. I hit the final ball away. Here we go. Remember, it was a dead heat after the accuracy test. A little leaky again. A little leaky. It's a decent hit, just a bit of a push. That's mad. I felt like those two a little bit down that right. Final one away of this test, and we'll tot up these averages. That's a beautiful hit. Again, a little leaky, but it's on the fairway still. We'll take that shot every time. We will take that. And this is why I think we might have had a little bit of a rogue one, as a carry 163, a ball speed of a 126.9. You are not gonna believe this, but I've just done the totting of the averages up, and the results are in. So let me grab my phone out of my pocket, because I got fertilizer on my trousers from the greens here. So start with the Callaway irons first. Had an average ball speed of 128, and an average carry of 172. But let me paint a picture here. That first one was a 193, the second one was a 160, and the third one was a 163. So I'm starting to feel that first one might have been a bit of a rogue number. Now the proto-concept's ball speed was a 129.5, 1.5 miles an hour more. Now, the average carry from the proto-concept was a bang dead heat, a 172. But with that being said, we had a 186, a 167, and a 164. So probably the proto-concept just steals it in terms of ball speed and carry. I'm starting to think we might have had a rogue one with the Callaway irons, but with that being said, there's not really any difference between a super expensive and super premium iron in terms of accuracy, ball speed and carry. Which begs the question, like, is there something in this extra forging? Is there something in all these extra materials? I don't know. One thing that I've started to think, it's maybe the quality of control in terms of the tolerances between what's sent out, which is at a lower grade. And what I mean by that is, like, say if it said it's meant to be 27 degrees of loft, it actually is 27, and if it's not, it's not. And that comes with the most premium clubs, and maybe when it's at a lesser price, the quality control on that is a little bit less. Maybe there's a bit of a bigger degrees of tolerance with that. I don't know, I'm just thinking. But it's very interesting to carry out this test. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe.